Is 2020 actually going to be your best year yet? A lot of people are saying it. I'm seeing it everywhere. 2020 is going to be my best year yet. And I really do, with a sincere heart, hope that that is the truth and a reality for you. And today I wanted to share with you 3 essential questions that you really must answer if that is going to be a reality for you. So my name is CeCe Chaney, and I was recently on a webinar with Bob Proctor, who's like personal development guru, right? And he was sharing about the importance of having the right mindset to actually achieve your goals, right? Because saying that 2020 is going to be our best year yet is the easy part. The doing is where it can get a little bit harder, right? And so if you actually want to do the things that it takes, if you actually want to create the life that you say that you want, well, in that case, you probably need to stay tuned, right? Because Bob asked some really powerful questions. And in his opinion, and I totally agree with him here, is that if you want to actually create the life that you say you do, then you really need to be honest with yourself and answer these 3 essential questions. So I've actually, today was my 3rd day rewatching this webinar. It's really powerful, and it's really helping me think about what it is that I'm trying to create. You know, it's the end of the year, and we're always thinking ahead, right? And planning and growing. This is really getting me mentally prepared, right? Spiritually prepared to create what I want to create in 2020, because I've got some big things happening next year. So the very first activity that Bob Proctor asked us to complete was answering these 3 questions, and that's what I wanted to share with you today, because this is a really good starting point. So question number 1: what has my life been like up to this point? Right now, so as Bob was talking, he says your initial reaction is to say, oh, you know, my life's been pretty good, my life's been okay, my life's been all right. But really sit with this question, and in fact, pull out your journal, right? If you use one, right? Pull out your journal or pull out your notepad in your phone or whatever it is, and really sit with yourself and be honest with yourself. What has your life really been like up to this point, right? And really answering that from an honest perspective, because I think when you've got really big goals and you've got really big dreams, you have to be honest with yourself so that you can see where your starting point is and where it is that you're going, right? And so that's what the first question is what's my life really been like up to this point? So once you've done that question and you've really sat with it and you've really answered that honestly, the next question is, what would I truly love my life to be like? And this question is multifaceted, right? Because life is big, right? So paying attention to the different areas of your life. What would you like your relationships to look like? What would you like your health to look like? What would you like your job or your business to look like? So really paying attention to all the facets of your life and what would you truly love them to look like, right? Because you can't get somewhere if you don't know where you're going, right? So after you've answered the first question, which was, what has my life been like up to this point? And you've been really honest with yourself, you probably know that there's some deficits in your life. There's some areas of your life that could use some real improvement. So if you know that there are some areas of your life that could use some help, now is the time on question number 2 to identify what that should look like. What would I truly love for my life to look like? So that's question number 2. And question number 3, I think, is the most powerful in that it requires you to be honest, right? So question number 3 is, am I open, honest, and committed enough to make whatever change is required of me to live the life that I just described? Now, here's the thing. Some people are going to be open. Some people are going to hear these 3 questions and they're going to say, you know what, CeCe, I'm going to get to work because I want next year to be my best year, right? Here's the reality. A lot of people won't. A lot of people will hear this message and they'll say, oh, whatever. And they'll let life continue to happen to them on default, because that's what most of us are doing. Most of us are living a life on default. We're going through the motions every day, and we're not really creating our lives the way we want to, right? So 1, are you open? The second part of this question is, are you honest? Will you be honest with yourself when you're asking yourself, What has my life been like up to this point? Will you actually be honest with yourself about that? Are you willing to be honest with yourself about what you truly love your life to be like? Or are you going to minimize what you want to create? Are you going to start thinking about what people will think if you actually live that life? So are you going to be open enough? Are you going to be honest enough? And then the last part is the hardest part, because who's ever had a goal that they didn't complete? Right? Have you ever had a goal that you didn't complete? And that's all about commitment. Are you committed enough to make whatever changes are required of you to live the life that you just described? So if you're not committed enough, right? Let's say you were open. You're like, you know what? I'm going to do the activity. And then you go through the things and you're really honest with yourself. And that's great. And then you realize, look, I'm just not committed. I'm not committed to doing what it takes to actually hit that health goal. Or I'm not really that committed to doing what it takes to actually hit that financial goal. Or I'm not committed enough to really do what it takes to hit my business goals, right? And I want you to be honest with yourself here, because here's the reality. It's really hard. It can be painful to have a goal and keep saying, oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And the reality is that you're really not, right? So it's actually easier to say, you know what? I'm never going to create that. I'm never going to hit that goal. I'm never going to be a size whatever. I'm never going to correct my health issues. It is easier on your psyche to be honest with yourself and just say, you know what? That's not a priority in my life. And I know that's probably not what you wanted to hear me say today. Hey, Siobhan, hey, Shanika, thanks for hopping on. Right? That's probably not what you wanted me to say, but that's the reality. For a lot of us, we're saying that we want something, but our reality is that we're not committed enough to make it happen. And we're hurting ourselves on a daily basis, telling ourselves at some point I'm going to do that. At some point I'm going to do that. But as Bob asked, are you open, honest, and committed enough to make whatever changes required of you to live the life that you just described? Right? I need to leave self-doubt in 2019 and actively work on my priorities and goals. Yes, right? And you're not alone. And I want you to know that. Like Siobhan is saying here that, you know, she needs to leave some of that doubt behind in 2019 and actively work on her priorities and her goals. And so do all of us, right? Let's just be honest for a second here. This is what we need to be doing. We need to be leaving this year and all of the garbage behind with it. As we're moving into 2019, these are the questions you need to ask yourself. And you need to sit with yourself. What I love about this time of year is that it's that time of year where we get to slow down a little bit. It feels like it's going fast, right? Because we've got holidays and we've got parties, but we've got a little bit more time for self-reflection. And if you take that time to really sit down and ask yourself these types of questions and really design your life, because you have that ability, right? If you take the time to do that, you can create this year that everybody's saying that they're going to have, right? Here's the reality. At the beginning of 2019, everybody was saying 2019 was going to be their year, and I saw a lot of people struggling through 2019. That's just me being honest, okay? But you have the ability to make a change. You have the ability to do something different this year. So start with these 3 questions. Grab your journal. Ask yourself, what has my life been like up to this point? And be honest, right? Number 2, what would I truly love my life to be like? Be honest. Look at all areas of your life. What change do you really want to make, right? And number 3, am I open, honest, and committed enough to make whatever change is required of me to live the life that I just described, right? Leaving behind all the garbage, leaving behind all the doubt, and actually stepping into your greatness, right? Actually stepping into the type of person that can create the life that you're describing, right? That's what you have to do. So I'm going to get off of my soapbox here, and I want to offer you this. If you're somebody who really wants to transform your life, and you really want to set this next year apart, one of the things that I do in my life and in my business is I really focus in, like, I've got big 2020 goals, but I also focus in on a quarterly level. So every 90 days, I have specific goals that I'm working towards. And if you would like, completely free of charge, of course, if you'd like my 90-day goal planner, which just takes you through what are my goals that I intend to create, what activities do I need to do to get me to those goals, and then really having the ability to track your progress along the way. So you're doing little checkpoints to see what's working, what's not working, what should I be changing up. I'm gonna give that to you completely free. All you gotta do is shoot me a message and say, hey, I really like that 90-day goal planner that you mentioned, and I will send that your way. I'm more than happy to do that for you. Okay, can I repeat 2 and 3 again? Sure. So question number 2 is, what would I truly love my life to be like? Right? So taking a look at your life, and what is it that I truly love my life to be like, right? What do I want my family life to be like? What do I want my business or my employment life to be? Okay. Question number 3 was, am I open, honest, and committed enough to make whatever changes required of me to live the life I just described? Okay, so after you've asked question number 1, answer question number 2, question number 3 is the commitment part, right? Am I open, honest, and committed enough to make whatever changes required of me, okay, to actually achieve that? So that is what I have for you today. If you'd like that 90-day planner, absolutely, it's free of charge. Just shoot me a message. I'll be more than happy to send that your way. Otherwise, I will chat with you tomorrow. Until next time, ciao.